Hi class, welcome to another day. Let's check what we're gonna do next. So we finished last time modules for Seaborn. So what we're gonna do now, as you can see there, the videos are posted there. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go to week number 4, and we're gonna talk about data visualization using Pandas and the skills, new data visualization skills that we haven't talked before. Okay, and then we also gonna in this week you're also gonna be working on your data science project. I'm gonna show you guys a video. I'm gonna also show you a lecture on how to be able to use data science to be able to or how can we use all the tools that we have learned to be able to implement this into the data science. How can we follow any patterns, see any patterns using the data visualization that we have learned by first cleaning it up using Pandas and NumPy. Okay. All right. So we're gonna jump in first to Pandas build data visualization lecture. All right. So on this one, right? Again, you're gonna oops, sorry. You don't have to put the name there. So I'm just gonna delete this part. As long as you submit your own work, you don't have to put that name there. Okay. So what we're gonna do here, right? You're gonna download the Pandas build the data visualization lecture. You're gonna follow along. You're gonna also download DF1 and DF2 to your computer and put it into your Pandas. Okay, so I already have that on here, but if you remember, open Colab and you just click Upload Notebook, and then you're gonna be able to see your file here. To be able to download, right, you also have to download your DF1 and DF2. So let's see. So we're gonna go in here, files, and we're gonna add them here. So we're gonna upload them. So we're gonna click upload, and we're gonna choose. In this case, we only need to do the DF1 and DF2. Okay. So let's open them up, and okay. So you can see here now we have access to those files. We're gonna use them for our data visualization. Okay, so again, this is just practicing being able to use Pandas and data visualization. We're gonna talk about different implementations with data visualization. There's other tools that we can use, styles, and we'll talk about those. So the first thing that we wanna do is import NumPy as NP, and then we're gonna import Pandas as PD. We're gonna make it run so that way we know it is working. And like I said, we're gonna download. We're gonna use the DF1 and DF2 for our data. So I'm gonna call him DF1. That's the name, right? But I'm gonna turn it in. I'm gonna read it from my file. So the way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna use my Pandas read CSV. So this is a CSV file. If you click on it, you can see that it's a DS file. So what does that mean? A CSV file? It's a comma separated file. So you can see everything separated by a comma. And so what we're gonna do here is I'm going to pass in the name of my file, df1, because it is saved in the same location. I don't have to. I think. Well, here. This is to go save. You can just do copy the path and put it there. This is to be more precise. So you would just go to the right side where the 3 dots are and just go to copy path, and that will make sure that you actually have it, that you have copied the correct path to that df1. Now, sometimes if you are working with df1 and df2 and you save them and then you go out, sometimes they're not saved. So just careful. You might need to put them again. And then we're gonna use index column, and I'm gonna use my the 0 column as the index column. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing for df1, df2. Sorry, df2. I'm just gonna copy this and change this to df2, and then I'm gonna change this to df2. Notice that if I look at the path for df2, it will be the same. It will be the same thing here. And I'm not gonna put the column in this case. If you can see, right, if we open it, different from the df1. So here we have a column that represents the dates, right, and then the data. And the df2 is just data. So in this case, we have an index column to be represented the index column 0. Let's run this, and it works well, so we don't have any issues. Now what we're gonna do here is let's display our data. And so we're gonna do df1. So our data frame right now is df1. And what we're gonna do is let's look at the A column, histogram. And as you can see, we can see the data of the column A. So if you can see A, you're gonna be able to see the values of the column A, which is in here. You can see here. All this, the second column is data A. How do we know that? Well, remember here, there's nothing in the first entry, so there's no value. We could have put a date there, and that would represent the date of this. But there is a comma, and the A is in the second location after the comma. So that's why this second row is the data we have here. All right, that's just to see our graph. Let's practice different styles. So there's a style sheets for Matplot, and we'll talk about this. So, and let me see. I think I have them somewhere in here. All right. Let me go back here. Okay. So we're gonna talk about. There's a style sheets that you can use for your graph. We'll talk about them. There's gonna be a BMH, a 538, a ggplot. So if you click on it, you should be able to see those graphs, right? Let me actually put it in, so you can see the different types of graphs that I was talking about. Let's see. Oh, here they are. So you can see here, this is different style sheets. You can do a BMH, a dark background, a 538, a ggplot. So there's different styles that you can see. You can do a grayscale, a sheets reference. So you can do different styles of sheets, and that's what this is saying. So if you click on that link, it will take you there. And so we're gonna be showing examples of the data, how we can implement it, how it will look with different graphs sheets. So we have matplot, lib, pyplot, as plt, and plt.style use. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use the ggplot. We don't see much, right? We can see the df1 dot A, and let's see the histogram. So you can see a little bit difference, right? I think it's gray background. So you can see the difference between the previous one to the new one now, because we changed the style of our plot. So instead of being a normal one, it is now I think it's a gray background. That's what it is. Now, let me do the same thing. And I'm going to put it in here. But now what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the BMH. And I'm going to copy the histogram again. And let's see what happens here. So this is going to be a blue bars. And then we can do a dark background. So we just copy this. And put this as a dark background. And you can see the background's black. So depending on what you want to see, what style do you want to see, you can just use it, right? You can try it out, whatever it's gonna make your point. So remember, the purpose of the graph is to highlight something that you want to show to your audience, right? It's not to distract from the point, right? Remember, when you're trying to do a data visualization, you're always trying to have in mind that you're trying to is my graph or my visualization emphasizing my point, right? That's the goal, right? You don't want to distract it. You don't make it so distracting that people are not paying attention to what you're actually trying to do, right? So I'm gonna take it back and I'm gonna put the GG plot. And so there's other plot types that we can see: the plot area, the plot bar, density, hist, line, scatter, bar, box. Right. So let's start with the area. So how can we do that? I'm gonna use the df2, the second data frame, and I'm gonna plot the data using, oops, sorry, the area alpha 0.4. Then you can see here that this is emphasizing on the area, showing the area of every single graph, right? So of every single column, depending on the process of the values where they have stored most of the values. Right? We can do df2 just to see the head, right? Df2 head. And remember, we can also put like how many do I want to see, right? I can say head the last 10. So remember, if you don't put anything, it's going to give you the top 5. But you can choose to put a number there, and that argument value will determine how many do you want to see. I can do a df2 with bars. So we can have a bar graph of my data, right? And you can see that here we're comparing every single column with each other with 0, 1, 2, 3. How many do we have at zero, at near 0, near 1, 2, and 3? So and within each of the different columns, and we can stack them, right? Let's say we want to do one bar for all values of your x-axis, so we can do df2, and instead of having an empty parentheses, we can do it stacked and say it's true. So that means that we want them to be stacked on top of each other, and so that could be a beneficial as well, right? We can see there's a purpose for that if we need to. Let's do df1 again, and let's see how we can actually change the number of bars that we want to see in our graph. So if we don't put anything, it's gonna give us automatically the number. So let me show you guys. So if I don't put anything, we do plot dot hist. If I don't put anything, it's just gonna give me the standard, the default number of bars. And why is this taking a lot of time? Come on. I'm gonna put pause so that this, oh, here it comes. So here you can see that it's doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can control that by putting a number inside, and that will be my bins. How many bars do I want to see? So let's say I want to see 50. And so now I have a lot more graphs. So that gives you a little more precise values, right? All right, and let's say I want to do a line plots. So what we can do here is, like, let's do it for a df1. We're gonna plot on the line. So this is gonna be a plot line, and my x value will be defined by my df1 index values. My y, I want to have my b represented, my y values, and my figure size will be 12.3, and the line width, I can define it to be 1. Didn't like something here. So I don't know why this I've been trying to figure out why it's not working. I'm gonna put a pin on this one. We're gonna move forward. It seems like everything's correct, but I don't know why. I added this line right here, df1, just to see what my data was. I mean, this is my index. You can see the left side is my index. And it seems like it's not accepting it. So I'll have to go back and check. But anyways, let's continue. And let's see, let's do a df1 plot scatter of x being equal to a and y equal to b. All right, so we can see the map between a and b. If a is the x value and y is the b value, they're going to have some coordinates practically where they're going to be mapping each other, where they're going to be being placed. All right, so we can do that, the same thing, but with colors, with different colors. So if we want to plot them with different colors, we can use the C map. Well, C is going to be the color, and C map will be what kind of colors do we want to be able to see. Cool, warm. What variety of colors do we want to see? So see when we remove this one. So so we're actually visualizing the data of the C column as well on the right side. With so we added a third layer into our graph. Even though it's a two-dimensional space, we're actually analyzing three different columns. So you have the column A, column B being mapped together, but then you also map the C value by using the color, and so the darker the red, the more red the color is, the bigger the number of C is, and then the smaller the value of C, then the smaller value is. So you can still technically be able to display a three-dimensional space using adding this extra layer of color. We can do the same thing, but with a size of the dots. So that will be representing the C. But now what we're going to do is we're going to say the size will be of the circle will be defined by our df1 and we're going to multiply it. So what we're saying is that our size of the circle will be defined by the value of C. And if we do it right now, like the way it is, you're going to see that the numbers are very small. So we can't really see that much difference. So what we're going to do is we're going to maximize, we're going to scale it to 200 times just to see a little bit more depth on it. Okay. And we've seen the box plots before. So we'll do the box plots and to be able to see the values of our data frame 2 with the 4 different columns that we had. So what this is doing, remember from a couple of days, this is going to be doing automatically the mean of the values of each column. So it's going to calculate the mean, and it's going to do the standard deviation as well. So you can see the standard deviation of the values, right? So if we don't put anything, it's going to do automatically that. We can also do a hexagonal bin plot, we kind of did the same thing before, right? So we're gonna create this data frame pd dot data frame with numpy dot random. So we're gonna generate some values, rand and 1002, and it's going to be columns. We're gonna have the columns be represented by the columns that we want to be able to display will be column A and column B. And then we're gonna display our graph. We're gonna plot it using the hexa bin. So this is a different style, and our x value will be our A. We don't have to specify that it's the DEF of A because we are doing it on the data of DFF. So this is already saying that we're gonna be selecting the data from our data frame A, DF. And so what we can just refer to the column when we just label it for our x and y value. And then we can say the grid size equal to 25, and the CMAP will be oranges. And so you can see here that we have the A and B values projected on this XY plane that has, depending on where do you have most of the values located, that's where you're going to be having the most depth in color. And then we can do the kernel density estimation with DF2, data frame 2. And we can select the column A. And we're going to plot it just very simple with the KDE. All right. And then we can see the density of each of the columns. So we can do df2 dot plot dot density, and that's just going to show the density of every single column. And that's the end of this one. So this one's a short one. We'll jump into the next one. Remember, don't forget to save. Click save and then print as PDF. Save it to your computer, and you're gonna submit this one. Okay. So you're gonna submit it in your Pandas.